wasted on the market. Okay, welcome to the Game Changer 00100 show. I'm your host, Game Changer, and today we are going to talk about the Western culture and how it's taking over other cultures, particularly Eastern and Southern cultures. Now, what I mean by West, I'm not talking about Cali culture. I'm not talking about Tupac or no shit like that. I am talking about Western civilization, European culture, if you will, white people culture, and feminism and things like that. Is it taking over other developing other developing cultures, including like Eastern culture, meaning Asia, China in particular is the most populated Asian nation. India. It seems as though places like these are coming more and more westernized in culture. Um, and perhaps that is not the best thing. Okay, so a culture of decadence is when a society becomes so prosperous that the culture surrounding it isn't really for a development of a society, it is for the enjoyment of a developed society. Now, what tends to happen when cultures that are developing take on, or excuse me, nations that are developing take on the culture of a developed nation is that they become stagnant. If you are a developing nation, you don't really have time for this hipster bullshit. Why? Because you're busy developing a nation. You don't have time for gender world bullshit because you're busy developing a nation. You see, what's the best way to put this? Got distracted by the phone. All right. Um, you see, when a culture is, damn, that really threw me off. Okay. You cannot behave. Okay, that's what I was going to get at. You can't have both third world and first world problems at the same time. You can't. If you do, you're fucked. It's kind of like being homeless with bills and shit. You can't just, it's the worst of both worlds. You can't really have it, you know, and it's kind of like working poor. If you're working and you're poor, it's the worst of both worlds. That is what I have been noticing that a lot of these developing, particularly in Africa, cultures are going through. But you see it in China too. And now I've only been to China once, but um, you see it in a lot of the developing world. And it is an extraordinarily unfortunate thing. So here, I am going to queue up this video. First, let me just say what's up to the chat room. Salute to Complex Design, Lando Calrissian. Let's see. Zero Hate, salute. God King, what's going on? So yeah, actually, GK, since you actually been to Africa, I want to get you on in a moment. Let me just queue up this video because first of all, I want to show you what Western culture is and the problems that stem from it. And then after that, I'm going to show you how this mentality is affecting Africa. Now, just so y'all know, on Mondays, I kind of like go through YouTube because I don't really do the shit on the weekends. At least I try not to. Every now and again, especially if I'm traveling a distance, I'll turn on a video. But I try not to just YouTube like that on the weekend. But Mondays when I get hit with all the back shit, and for whatever reason, Monday mornings I get hit with shit that just disturbs me. Well, y'all seen last Monday's video, so there's no need to really talk about that. But this is what I was hit with this morning. Now, this isn't that they hit me with it directly. This comes from, I'm subscribed to somebody called Genuine. So shout out to him. He broke the story, so all credit due. All right. So this is some more Madame Noir bullshit. This is called Take to the Street, Black Women, something or other, Black Women and Sexuality. All right, so. All right, one moment, just queuing it up.
Liz Willis, your real world correspondent for Madame Noir's Listen to Black Women Take to the Streets. Today we are going to be talking about sex, how we navigated the idea as young girls, and the role it plays in our lives as women. Let's go. What advice would you, ladies, give young girls to feel more comfortable in their bodies at an early age?
I would say immediately to assure them that they're perfect as they are. I feel like we as
Oh my God. They're perfect as they are. Now, you ever notice how can a person be perfect as they are? So you're telling me that there's no room for improvement? That a person cannot improve upon themselves? Like, if you were to join the football team or the basketball team, do the coach just tell you, you're perfect just the way you are? No need for me here. You are absolutely perfect. No, it takes discipline. It takes work to improve, to be better. Not just you're perfect the way you are. And look at this chick. How much do y'all want to bet? How much do y'all want to bet that through the whole spiel, she's never going to interview somebody hotter than her? Well, I've seen it, so it's not a fair bet.
Black women naturally are constantly being told that we are less than the traditional beauty standard and we romanticize light skinned women, people of fair skin tone.
Ah, here we go with the light skin shit. Here we go with the colorism shit. Oh, woe is me, colorism. It's like, was that even a question? Damn. I mean, if you really feel that bad, or you really feel that you're starving for male attention, here's my dick, there's your lips.
Certain body types, and then on top of that, like we just need to be more embracing.
Now, she is not a fat woman. However, she is using fat women's talking points. Really, she's not a pitch black woman either, but she's just claiming automatic victimhood while saying that she's perfect.
Like as we are naturally, instead of trying to fit into a mold that isn't even for us in the first place.
Woo! Yes, yes.
Yes, yes, but you fit into that mold, bitch.
What steps do you think we can take to instill self love in our girls at an early age? Easy.
Oh my god. So you see how the focus of this is to just make like these, a new generation of overly conceited ugly bitches? Because that's what they're doing. Telling a person that they're perfect the way they are while other groups is out doing yoga and Pilates and shit is going to put them behind the eight ball, and they're going to think that they're fucking perfect. And then somebody's just gonna come along and call them, fat or ugly, or or pump and dump them, or treat them, like less than. And they're not gonna know what to do because they've been told that they're perfect their whole life.
My daughter's 6 years old. We look in the mirror every day. Tell me what you see. Look how.
My daughter is 6 years old. My daughter is 6 years old, and we look in the mirror every day and tell me what you see. What kind of shit? I see a fucking 6 year old. I'm six. I look in the mirror. I see another 6 year old looking back at me. What in the fuck?
How beautiful you look. Oh, you got mommy's gorgeous high cheek.
Oh, what does a 6 year old know about beauty or care? Is she trying to fucking, dinner horror a nigga's sugar treat candy or some shit like that? What in the fuck does she care?
I don't got nice legs, but you got the scan. You got the scan.
She was about to tell her 6 year old daughter that she has nice legs. What kind of sick shit is going on? And they're openly saying this. This is Western culture. This is Western culture.
I'll take that. Thank you, darling. You see how that works? Yeah. Do you have any advice for young girls who may feel like they want to rock a short cut?
Oh shit. Oh shit. All right, let's see where this is. Let's see where this Wakanda Forever fat shit is going.
Or don't want to necessarily address the heteronormative way.
We have tons of celebrities, younger kids on Instagram.
The fuck is heteronormative? This is Western culture. As it stands right now, this shit right here is Western culture.
And all kinds of social platforms. Shout out to Jaden Smith, Willow Smith. Like, that whole Smith family is showing that you can live absolutely against the norm and be totally fine.
Yes, you can live against the norm, but should you? Now, this is a old ass bitch shout outing kids. Well, not kids anymore, but shout outing people who did this shit when they were kids. She's old as fuck, following, the trends of the youth.
Be the trendsetter. If no one's rocking a shortcut, you go ahead and do it.
Amen. So we are here in Harlem. How you doing? Got the skin out, shoulders. I love it.
Oh my fucking God. For those of you who do not know, this is not a how that song go? You make me feel like, this is not a natural woman.
Love it. How do you feel we can stop putting pressure on ourselves as women to either be more sexual or less sexual, either to cover up or let it all hang out? I guess you have.
Okay, listen at the question. We feel that we are being pressured into being more sexual or less sexual, but we have to state that we are feeling pressured. One way or another, we're feeling pressured, Like, oh, you should be less sexual. Oh, that's pressure. I can't believe, And, honey, maybe you should suck my dick in the morning. Oh, that's more pressure. It's like, what the fuck?
You have to just look at yourself in the mirror and empower yourself and feel sexy no matter what. If you're covered up or you're not covered up, or you have makeup or you're not shaved.
Feel sexy no matter what. Do broke people feel rich no matter what? Do short people feel tall no matter what? Do people with 2-inch dicks feel like they hung no matter what? Do I feel Chinese no matter what?
Or waxed or whatever. You have to gain that power in yourself, and then when you have that, you go out in the world, and that's what makes people attractive, and you don't feel the pressure, because you accept.
That is not what makes people attractive. Being attractive makes people attractive. What in the fuck?
Everything of yourself.
What are ways that we as women who feel like, yeah, this is a little Handmaid's Tale right now, we're getting our rights stripped from us, what are ways that...
Oh my fucking God, what right is she getting stripped from her? What right are Western women getting stripped from them? Notice the constant victimhood, the perpetual victimhood. We're being pressured to be more sexual. We're being pressured to be less sexual. We're constantly having our rights stripped away from us. Though we have every right that a man has and more, but they're being stripped.
We can protect ourselves and honor ourselves and practice a little self-love, mental health. Yeah.
What in the fuck does having your rights stripped and protecting yourself have to do with self-love and mental health?
I think the best thing we can do is to really learn to know yourself, really begin that journey of self-love, whatever that is. Not all women who identify as female were born cisgender women.
What in the fuck? First of all, what in the fuck is a cisgender woman? Second of all, what in the fuck does this answer have to do with the question? Not all women were born. Yeah. So, first of all, yes, they were. That's what cisgendered mean, you know. But anyway. And you're old, bitch. Like, whatever cisgendered mean, I know it's a new term because, or else, if I was like the offspring of your old ass, I would be familiar with that term because it would be something that was used in a household regularly. Nope, this is new shit. This is new shit that your ass listened to feel young. What in the fuck is a cisgender? Like, you know, I don't know, but I know it's some millennial bullshit. Or maybe even some Generation G bullshit. But I know it's too young a word for your old ass.
So we have to understand, we have to embrace all levels of femininity. Those with the vagina and those without.
Oh, shit. This is Western culture. This is Western culture.
Born with the uterus and those without. Those who the uterus had to be taken for whatever medical reasons. Like, we have to embrace.
That is oddly specific. That is oddly specific when she said those whose uterus had to be taken for whatever medical reason. So, being the old chick that she is, she probably went through a hysterectomy and, you know, want to just throw herself in there. And so now she gets together in these crying circles with, you know, transgender people and just, you know, those absent uteruses and shit and feel akin to them. I don't know. Western culture.
Embrace each other because femininity is femininity.
What I do in my personal life is I give knowledge to people. Like, I tell them like I'm trans and I let them know how it is to be trans and different, and they see you in a different perspective, and then that person carries that on. And I think that's what we need, like enlightenment, that people are different, people have different sexualities, people have different bodies, people have different everything. You can wear whatever you want now. Now you can wear boys' clothes, girls' clothes. Like, I love that about everything now.
So
now what it's saying is that they're happy that they're free to do certain things in this Western culture. Now, keep in mind that the one, and you know, she could get the dick, but she's about like 5 pounds away from not being able to get the dick. And I'm not talking about the trans. I'm talking about the one on the left here. I'm talking about this one. So remember how she was saying a moment ago that they were having their rights stripped away. No, they're not. Here you have a woman who is proudly saying that she is happy that she has these rights. But they're still claiming victimhood.
So how do you feel like you can keep things spicy in the bedroom after being with somebody for a couple of years?
That's a really good question. Lord knows I ain't been
Lose weight.
with someone that long. Porn, honestly.
Looking at porn with your partner.
Yes,
Okay.
doing it together and figuring out that looked like fun. Is that something you're interested in? Hey, let's give it a go. Or just going back to what you guys used to do, or like, you know, sometimes being secretive or role playing. You know, let's return to the bedroom scene. Let's go in the car. Let's do something different. Sneak me in the bathroom at your mama's house. Let's try
The mama's house. So what you're saying, what I'm hearing from you is try new things, but also if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So when I think about sexuality, the word that comes to mind for me is freedom. Freedom to love who you want, freedom to look the way you want.
When I think sexuality, I think freedom. What does one have to do with the other?
And freedom for you to be able to change your mind whenever you want. Thanks for
Freedom to change your mind whenever you want. Okay.
being with us today. My name is Liz Willis, your real world correspondent for Madame Noir's Listen to Black Women Take to the Streets. Make sure you subscribe to our channel.
All right, so enough of that. All right, so that is Western culture as it stands. That is the unfortunate aspects of modern day Western culture. Like they're in a developed nation, so the main concerns isn't about developing or survival or becoming the best, becoming top dog because they feel like they're in the country that where they are top dog. Now the concern is, now that we're there, you know, should I just go completely bald? Let me tell my 6-year-old daughter that she has nice legs. That is the type of shit that people think about in the first world. It's trite, it's bullshit. You know, it's the type of shit that people with real problems don't think about. You know, you have to be extremely privileged to change genders, or at least the appearance thereof. You have to be extremely privileged, especially to change to a feminine gender, because you feel safe. You know, if you feel safer as a woman than as a man, then you live in a privileged society, which is a good thing. You know, I'm not taking that from the West. That is a good thing. What happens when you apply this to people who don't necessarily live in the West? Okay, so email me for the link if you're interested, but I am going to show this next clip about how this thinking is affecting the West. So give me one moment while I cue that up. And then I'm gonna get a panel going because I have to get a discussion going while I make a quick phone call. So here we go.
The campaign against sexual harassment in Uganda is a...
All right. So as you heard, this is about sexual harassment in Uganda. I don't know if it's pronounced Uganda. I hear Europeans pronounce it that. I'm going to call it Uganda, and I'm going to use a short A. I may or may not be wrong. I do not care. All right. So this is the problem as it appears in Uganda, or this is it. This is it spreading to the far corners, the far dark corner of the South continent, you know, in the deepest, darkest place in Africa. This is the bullshit that you just seen on Madame Noir spreading. All right, now, one second. All right, so before we even get into it, let's look at the title. UG sexual assault. Uganda's woman's fight. They're fighting. This is a fight. They're fighting. That's why she ain't got no damn hair, because she's a fucking fighter. You know, you don't see no long-haired fighter. She's not a Dothraki. She's a fucking fighter. You know, that's why she got 4-inch arms, because she's a fighter. You know, so she's on the internet, which means that the shit that I just showed you is the shit that she has access to. She can watch that at any time. She can bring her bullshit into, she could bring Western bullshit into her fragile brain, you know, at any fucking time in her life, in her day. That is what she is doing right now. Now, she's more privileged. You know, I mean, look at her surroundings. She seems to be a little bit more privileged than, say, that that fat Ugandan chick that was washing her clothes on the fucking curb. You know, so she seems to have a little bit more. And as a result, she has developed this decadent lifestyle that comes with it. Now, this is just a picture, but, you know, picture is 1,000 words, and let's get into the video because it's more pictures and more words. All right.
The campaign against sexual harassment in Uganda is a one-woman operation.
It is a one-woman operation. Oh my fucking God. Then that means it's not a campaign, bitch. This is just an internet bitch talking shit.
At least for now.
It's going to see my phone, then it's going to run away to another room.
Lindsay Kakunda hasn't got much support for her cause yet.
Oh my God. GK, is this what you're talking about? Is this what they consider a middle of the road chick, or is this just like, all right.
But she isn't giving up. She says most assaults happen in busy public places, and hers was no exception. She resolved to take action after.
Most assaults happen in busy God damn, look at this shit. In busy public places. Okay.
She was harassed by a group of men, and a policeman nearby refused to help.
And began shouting at me because I was wearing shorts. I don't understand what that's supposed to mean. And I began.
So she was wearing shorts, and men were shouting at her, and they call this sexual assault. Sexual assault. You see how they trying to provoke? That is some Western bullshit. That is not sexual assault. Ask anybody who was actually sexually assaulted. Was this sexually assaulted? She's that bitch. She is that bitch. Imagine like a group full of people. Imagine like a group full of people getting together talking about their sexual assaults. People who experience real shit. My uncle was molesting me since I was 6 years old. Since I was a little boy. My father pimped me out at 13. My mother pimped me out at 12. I was sold to America as a sex slave. And when I was too old to be a sex slave, they made me work a fucking field. In 2015. And then this bitch come and says, you know, oh yes, I was wearing shorts and some men was yelling at me. Let's make this international news. That is the sickness that is Western culture. And it's spreading. It's spread to this bitch. She's the first one. She is patient zero. She has a one-woman campaign on some bullshit and they decided to make it news. Now keep in mind, this is not news in their country. This is news here.
I'm scared because the number of men were increasing. And I went to a policeman and I said, can you please help me ask this man to stop shouting? And this policeman looked me up and down and said, isn't that what you wanted?
You dress like a thought, you get thought of.
The campaign doesn't stop at verbal assaults. Zaina Fatuma is a politician from an opposition party and was on her way to a rally when she says police undressed her while arresting her.
Is that a fucking thong? Look at this shit. Oh my God. Look at this shit. So basically she's being arrested for whatever the fuck. And this is what's necessary to arrest them. Don't like do crime, bitch.
Fatuma is suing the Ugandan police who deny the accusation.
I think they were just like trying to threaten us, especially women, young women who are.
Now they won't really say what she was arrested for, because they're trying to create a victimhood narrative. They want to make this person out to be a victim. But what if she was actually sexually assaulting somebody else? Like, what if she was the actual sexual assaulter of somebody else? She was getting arrested for it, and then she comes out as the victim. Secretary for the Environment, bitch.
Are trying to pursue politics, most especially those ones who are on opposition, like to intimidate us. Because if after being ashamed like that, you'll be embarrassed.
The government tried to pass a law a few years ago restricting the way women dress. The minister proposing what was known as the anti-pornography bill said it reflected Ugandan values. However, the provisions about dress had to be removed in the face
So basically, what you have is you have a developing culture that want to develop cultural decency. You know, they want to be a anti-thought country. But Western influence is so strong that these bitches are fighting in the streets with their thong on against it. Now, keep in mind, these are highly undesirable women. But this is how they get attention. Now, for women, attention is to women what sex is to men. Meaning it doesn't necessarily have to be good. For many women, she didn't get embarrassed. She wasn't embarrassed by this. She was happy that she got that attention. You know, she was resisting. She was resisting arrest while people was filming her naked fat ass. And she was just happy to see it. She's just happy that now she's getting the camera time. All right.
The public opposition.
Dress code in an African environment is supposed to be modest, decent, and non-provocative. But the West has given us that style that you must be sharp, you must be staged and ready to draw attention and let everybody look at you.
Young women are telling us the same thing.
Oh, God. Okay, so you hear this shit. This is a minister. This is a politician that is trying to fight of a developing country that's trying to fight for some type of social decency. And here you have this white bitch. Now, keep in mind, you know, people allege that in America, it's women like this who started feminism in the first place. And here she is starting the shit again. And they're okay with it. They're okay with it. They're following suit. Why? Because they get that attention. Got to get that attention. That's why I wear shorts. And then men gather around and talk shit. And I ask the officers to get them to stop. And it's like, you know, like, why? Isn't that what you wanted? You know, got that attention. Got to get that attention. They're so addicted to attention that they do not care about what it's doing for society. And this is labeled a woman's fight. So basically, they're saying that, you know, the men in this case, that minister who is fighting so that you can live in a look at how the women are dressed in the background. You can live in a country when it is developed, you know, that has social decency, morals, etc., etc., etc. You know, I'm glad that this guy exists. I'm glad that Uganda is not full of niggas. If he was a nigga, he'll just be like, you know, he'll be trying to make the skirt shorter. Gotta get that pussy. Gotta get that pussy. But he's not a nigga. He's thinking about the future of his nation.
They haven't changed their style of dress. They say their problem started when the government introduced this anti-pornography bill.
Shops in Kampala cater for every style, suggesting that some women still feel bold enough to wear what they want. But Lindsay Kakunda's concerned that if women don't stand up for their rights now, they won't have the chance to in the future. Anna Cavell, Al Jazeera, Kampala, Uganda.
All right, so I don't know what that's about. I'll check it out later. All right, so chat room, what do you think? Here, let me send out some emails. Give me 1 second. Let me send out the link to some people. Go ahead and type in your thoughts, and I will read them. All right. So Actually, let me get GK in on this because he's been to Africa. Oh, here we go. All right, so back to the chat room. Link sent out. So those of you who like, go ahead and feel free to jump on. All right, so she looks quite assaulty. Damn. All right, let's see. Not actually salad. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I stopped following what these new words and trends are. And there's gender fluidity and shit like that. And it's, yeah, I should do a video on these fucking safe spaces. Like I find myself in a safe space from time to time, and this shit's fucking hostile as fuck. And it's just like annoying. Oh damn! A trans would tell her that they're just as much of a woman as she is because she can no longer give birth. I don't know. I don't know if she's a natural woman or, why is she rocking the short hairdo or whatnot. I mean, basically what it comes down to is they just want to be noticed. And it's easier to have the world's shortest hair than it is the world's longest hair. Either one would get you noticed. So, there's that. They want to stand out, whether it's in a good or a bad way. They just want to be seen, like they say in The Color Purple. Just want to be seen. All right. Let's see. All right. Salute Triple X. Well, you can join. I don't know if you're busy or not, but you can feel free to hop on. Kind of want to get GK in this because he's been to Africa. And I want to know really like a firsthand account of not really firsthand, but at least a secondhand account on how much is this shit spreading? Like, because they featured this one chick, this one NAPFRO chick, and I'm hoping that that's it. I'm hoping that she is like the sole person, who is in this campaign to walk around with shorts on.
What's up, Game Changer?
Hey, what's going on, GK?
Hey, man. Hey, I got
go ahead.
No, just a quick suggestion. I don't know if I don't think you're already doing this. You can download these Hangouts on this channel and put them on your bigger channel. The one you can't go live on now.
Okay, could you email me like the links at the ends? Because I've been trying to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, I can email you some stuff.
Okay, right. I appreciate it. So you've been to the continent. Maybe not Uganda proper, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I've been to I spent the most time in Uganda.
Oh, my bad. I thought you were in I thought you were in Ethiopia.
I was in Ethiopia for 2 months.
Okay, got it.
Uganda 13 months.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Ghana 6 weeks.
Okay.
But one of the problems I'm seeing over there, and this does relate to your topic, but it's a little bit of a different angle, so bear with me.
Sure.
I'm seeing a lot of the women who cannot afford to eat, don't have electricity, barely have any running water. A lot of them don't even have flushing toilets, but yet they're concerned about having their weave, their nails done, and their high heel shoes. They're walking down roads that are not even paved. Like, these are mud roads, mud and dust. And they've got their high heel shoes on that they can barely walk in because the roads aren't even. And they're falling over, stumbling as they're walking, all to try to look like what they see on Western television. It's
Now,
insanity.
well, do you think that they're doing that because as a means to an end, meaning that they feel that they can attract a guy with running water if they had these high heels and weaves and shit?
I don't believe that's it because they're not hanging out in the areas where those guys are.
Okay.
They're still in their rundown areas, you know, with the guys who are in the same predicament that they're in. But they want to look like what they saw on the internet or on television or on some poster. It's sad, man. It's insanity.
It is.
Seriously.
It is. No, Western culture is affecting the psyche of these poor African women. And they have to understand that, you know, they're not in the West. You know, now I don't really disagree with a woman attempting to attract a mate to get her out of poverty. But like you say, it's not, you know, it's not likely that that's going to happen. You know, it's not likely that the running water Ugandans are, well, you were. Actually, now I think about it, maybe they're onto something because you were there. You know,
I
you're
was
a running water dude.
Yeah, but I'm an anomaly. Like you would not find any other Western guys in the parts I was hanging out in. Because I was not trying to be around what I call, I guess, the regular city people. I was trying to go out because I was thinking that the women out there were going to be different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you were hoping. Yeah,
I was hoping. But they were trying to be city girls so bad. It's terrible, man. That was one of the things I kept writing home about. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, I was emailing people back in the States, like, can you believe these women out here walking around on these mud roads with high heels? It's insanity, man.
You got images of this on your channel.
No, that was a real long time ago when I did that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta just to see that. I really want to just like experience that firsthand. Like, you know, first of all, where are they walking to?
It could just be wherever. It could be to work. You know, they might work at a little restaurant. You know.
Okay, so instead of because you know, so they might have their high heels on in a restaurant all day. I hope not.
No, and that's funny you bring that up. They would walk out there like that to look a certain status while they're out there, and then they would get to work and put on their flats. Yep.
Wow.
I've seen all this.
Wow. Is it possible that they're onto something that we don't know? Like, you know,
no.
Like
I doubt
that's their strip. You know how every city has a strip.
I doubt it.
Whole strip, but okay.
Nah.
Okay, this was just pure dirt road. You know where you know you could look to the right and pick a blackberry off the bush. Yeah.
Yep. And women making sure their weaves and their wigs are right, even though they don't have running water. It's crazy.
Yeah. All right, let me before we get to XXX, let me just do this quick shout out. All right, hold on 1 second.
Oh, can I say one last thing too?
Yeah, go for it.
The cell phone usage out there is ridiculous. See, that's another Western thing. I'm not saying cell phones are necessarily bad, but out there, okay, they don't have the infrastructure that the US has as far as fiber optics and stuff. So a cell phone for them is actually much more expensive than it is for us. Because what does the average American pay? Like between $50 and $100 a month, right?
Yeah.
Well, out there, I think they're spending something like $10, maybe $15 a month on their cell phones, and that's a lot more to them than that $100 is to us. If you know what I mean.
What's the average daily income?
I don't remember what that is, but trust me, they're not. I did the math before a while ago, and trust me, they're paying much more. I don't remember all the details of it, but
right,
they're paying like 2 or 3 times as much for cell phone usage. But they gotta have them. All of them have them. You got people with no flushing toilets, and they've got their cell phones.
Okay. Right quick, I just want to shout out to Clayton Thomas. Clayton Thomas is a brother from LA. He does real funny skits. He has like nearly 1 million subscribers, so y'all check him out. y'all want to, I mean, don't fill up on this red pill shit, to get you depressed and angry and shit like that. Just take some comedy into your subscribership. All right, just that's all I want to say. All right, so Triple X, what's on your mind?
Peace to the panel. What's up, Game Changer? What's up, GK?
Hey, what's up?
Going on?
All right. Yeah, man. Yeah, to add to this, pretty much what GK is saying is pretty spot on, man. From what I've been hearing, I haven't been to the continent yet, but from what I've been hearing from people that have visited Uganda, they've mimicked a lot of what GK has said. Basically, our influence of our women has had a big effect on the women over there. And in a lot of ways, they're trying to mimic the look and the style and lifestyle on a much, much more poor level. The average income over there, man, even for like an engineer, man, is probably about 13 grand a year.
Okay.
Yeah. So, that said, man, that $15, that's actually a lot when that's all you make, So yeah, it's a tragedy, man. I when I first heard it, I was really disappointed to hear that, man, that we're having such a negative effect on a continent over there, But go ahead. What you say, Game Changer?
No, I'm listening. I'm concurring.
Oh yeah. It's it's unfortunate we have our influence is having such a negative effect over there on the continent, especially it already being such a poor area in the first place. But it's unfortunate, man. But it's pretty much the state of where we're at now, man. We really got to find some way to change the culture here so it can have an effect not only here but throughout the world. But I digress for now.
Okay, so David Monroe said something really interesting in the chat room. Wait until the Bloods and Crips get over there. Now, well, it's funny because at least according to this, in skits like this, I don't think the men are being affected, or else that would happen. And perhaps it did, and then it just died down in one of their many civil wars. But according to this, it seems like the men were like, they're fighting Western culture. It's the women that are trying to bring it in, and the men who are trying to push it out.
But hold on.
I
apologize, not to cut you off, Game Changer, but the men are the ones making decisions to allow their women to have access to westernized, television shows, internet. So I have to put that on the men.
Okay, because in China they censor the hell out of it.
Yeah, but Africa won't. That's men's fault.
Okay, I agree.
In fact, they have
I don't know if it's a willingness thing, or just an ignorance thing, but
I think it's a sellout
or the ability. It's very difficult to censor something that's online. On a national level. I mean, when you have running water problems, it seems like stopping a woman's ability to download something online, putting an international block on Netflix seems to be the least of your concerns when there's a running water issue.
No, I think it's a sellout issue. African leaders have been selling their own people out since we can record.
Yeah.
They don't care because look, they have these cable television shows that are showing all of our, love and hip hop.
Ah, damn it. God damn it. They didn't even have that. Thank God.
In fact, they've made their own reality TV show and it looks exactly like ours.
Oh God.
Like they have found out how to mimic us perfectly.
Oh God. All right.
That's disgusting, man.
Yeah, I blame the men for that shit. Because I mean, I just assume that in a culture where guys surround a chick in shorts talking shit as opposed to trying to fuck her, like that's progress. That something good is going on there. But I mean, well, maybe it's like two factions of men, you know, like kind of like there is in a black community. Maybe there's, you know, niggas and, you know, brothers who are looking forward to the future of the people. But I mean, damn, niggas is everywhere.
Yeah, the general public, those men might be looking forward to a future of the people, but the men in power care about their bank accounts. Like I said, selling out their people.
Mhm.
Facts. That's facts.
The same people who, you know, were selling their people into slavery 500 years ago.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
still in power over there.
Same as it ever was. That's a damn shame. So let's see. Love and Hip Hop Nigeria. Fantastic. If you want to get on, go ahead and email me for the link. All right. So in addition to, you know, what they're getting from American television, what do you think? Do you think that the people that are broadcasting this have nefarious designs? Because, you know, you have in the Middle Africa, you have a white woman suited and shit. You know, she has the natural hair that they're seeking, that they're digging out of garbage cans. I seen a video. They was digging out of a dumpster. It was digging used weaves out of the dumpster. That shit was fucking disgusting.
Disgusting.
Yeah. I think I seen that on Tommy's show. But anyway, what do you think? Do you think it's just something as simple as it's just good news, or do you think that there is something really nefarious going on behind the people who are making this a thing?
You mean in Africa?
Yeah, I'm talking about, well, the fact that they made something like this, a woman getting, you know, and they don't even have footage, but a woman telling the story, who could be lying. This whole thing could be made up, but she's telling the story about guys surrounding her because she has shorts on. Like, that's not international news. However, they made it into international news. And do you think that that's for, you know, a nefarious intent? I'm gonna ask that question and leave it to the panel because I have to make a quick phone call.
I do think so. I think there are Western special interest groups that are in Africa right now, working hard.
Excellent point.
Yeah, they're in there. And LGBT, that's starting to, you know, take hold over there. They got special interest groups that are really making it difficult for people over there. They're trying to pressure the governments to start accepting it and offering them all kinds of financial incentives.
Right. Yeah.
I heard of one of them years ago. They were offering to buy, like, I want to say it was 100,000 mosquito nets, because, you know, they got problems with mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Giving people malaria. So this LGBT group was going to buy like 100,000 mosquito nets if the government would push their LGBT agenda in some region. So that kind of stuff. So, I mean, of course, there's something nefarious going on.
Yeah, it's almost pretty much a no-brainer, man, for sure. You know, it's Western influences has infiltrated the continent real heavy, and like you say, they no doubt have groups over there, influence groups, to push this agenda. And like whether it's LGBT, the love and hip hop, ratchetness shit, they have groups and people over there. Anywhere it's an opportunity to make money and drive influence, you're gonna find opportunists there. So I have no doubt that they're there.
That's right. I'm sorry for the silence. I'm trying to eat at the same time. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, you're good, man. You're good. What is GK? What else really stood out to you, Western influence wise, while you were on the trip over there?
Well, I can say that the women are starting to take on the independent woman idea of not needing a man, even though it's total insanity
over there.
Total insanity, because they don't have the safety nets such as food stamps, child support.
Yeah.
So for them to be thinking independent is complete insanity. I mean, at least the women here, you kind of understand they do have something to fall back on. So they're trying to be Western over there without Westernization, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. No, I totally understand what you're saying. They want to adapt the same attitude, swagger, and bravado of Western women, but without essentially the backup that the Western world provides. You know, they don't have the backup of the welfare, the child support system, the divorce system, etc., etc., etc. I got you.
And then, as for the men, I'll say one thing that I don't know, y'all might think this is not such a big deal, but I was seeing guys who are really poor, like I said, from those dirt road areas, and you don't have running water, you don't have electricity hardly, you barely have any, but they were able to make sure they could get their Yankees fitted cap.
Wow.
And the prices that they were paying for these American fitted caps would be the same exact price we pay over here. So you could imagine how expensive that is to them.
Yeah. They had the style and profile. That's something else I wanted to ask, man. Could you speak more about the men and how much the Western influence have influenced them and how they're moving, man?
Really, to be honest, the men, I'm talking about the general public, not the men in power.
Right. Yeah. We're talking about the day-to-day guys. We're not talking about the shot callers, the guys pulling the puppet strings and the real movers and shakers.
Besides the fashion and them being so concerned with looking the part, besides that, they weren't really, I didn't see them doing too much detrimental to try to be Western. Of course, the cell phone thing is the same, where they were more concerned about having a cell phone than anything else.
Okay.
But so it was basically just the cell phone and the fashion.
Okay.
That's what I saw with the dudes.
Okay. I got you.
Not too much of ideology.
So they're trying to maintain some morality, a sense of morality. The men are.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's partially because they don't have much choice. Like, no one's, like you said, like who mentioned the Crips and the Bloods coming over there?
David Monroe.
If somebody came over there and offered them some incentive to live a gangster lifestyle, then maybe they would do it. I remember one Ugandan guy, he was a boxing trainer, a friend of mine, and he was telling me like Ugandans will sell their soul real quick for $1, real cheap. He was talking about the men. He was saying that like if an American came over there right now and wanted to assassinate their president and was willing to pay some local Ugandans to do it, they would do it for pennies. So
wow.
Yeah, that's what he told me.
So there's no loyalty then.
No. Not at all.
Over there with like 20,000 Americans, they'd be all over it.
Oh yeah. And then there's big time colorism too. Go ahead though.
So as an American man, were women attracted to because I heard from Kenya women that they're attracted to Black American men. But did you get the feeling that they were attracted to more to what they think you represent than you as a person? Are they attracted to what they think you represent versus what you actually represent? I guess that's a better way of putting it.
Yeah. What they think you represent, the status, status and all of that. And a lot of them, once they got to know me, they were a little bit disappointed because they wanted me to be this nigga they've seen on television.
So there is an attraction to niggas. So the only thing that's stopping them from being niggas is nobody's paying them to be niggas, basically.
I think so. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Because the women will come once the niggas, What's the niggas do?
They want you to stand out there and freestyle. And
I mean,
Well,
I-
freestyling is not really a nigga thing, though.
I
Triple
know.
M.
I was about to add some more to it, but yeah, they want to see some love and hip hop type black guys. I get it.
Yeah, like I've been called a fake Black American because I didn't want to stand out in public smoking weed.
Ain't that a bitch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And get high and freestyle and all that shit. I got you.
Right.
What you got against freestyle? But no, so basically, just like I get that shit, you know, you're not real black, they give you that shit too. That's fucked up. So yeah, I had a feeling that that when the Kenyan chicks tell me that shit, that I'm like, I think that they want a nigga. But
Yeah, that's all they know of Black Americans.
yeah, and it works. It just like the chick whose parents wouldn't, the Ethiopian chick whose parents wouldn't let me drop her off at the house, or didn't want her to date Black Americans because all they really know about us is nigga shit.
There you go.
Oh, you ran into that too, Game Changer?
Yeah, I ran into that.
Man. Yeah, Ethiopians, they do not like black Americans, man. They do not like you trying to date their daughters, man. Ooh, no. I've seen that firsthand, brother.
Yeah. What they think we knew this.
Yeah. For sure, man.
No, I mean, I wouldn't want my daughter dating a nigga either. So, you know, but I would take time out to interview him, you know, to see if he's a brute or a nigga.
Exactly.
So I put in the chat room a link to a video in Uganda, and this shit is funny as fuck. It's about this African preacher who is trying to make, this is like in 2000 and shit, when was this? What was this video? This is 2010 that it made it to YouTube, but I'm pretty sure that the video is a little older than that. And basically this brother was staunch against homosexuality in Uganda. He's a preacher. And he was, you just gotta watch it. He's talking about eating a poo-poo and shit like that. The shit is fucking hilarious. So I'll put it in again. Go ahead and take a look at that when y'all get a chance. That shit. But so since then, I've seen that years ago. It was on HBO. I woke up and I just turned on the TV, and an African dude was talking about eat the poo-poo. The shit, and I was just laughing my ass off.
Can I say something real fast?
So yeah, right quick. Let me just say this. So I just assumed that the fellas were looking to sustain a certain level of social decency, or what they consider to be social decency. I don't think people should get killed for being gay, but you know, but the intent behind what he was doing was to sustain social decency. Go ahead, bro.
You're right. And Uganda was actually beheading LGBTs. They were getting beheaded back when I was there. That was like 2012 was the last time I was there. And women, I personally know 2 women that I was somewhat dating or sleeping with, whatever you want to call it. These women were bisexual, and they left the country and fled to South Africa just so they could live their lesbian lifestyle. So you've got women now fleeing countries that are against LGBT, trying to get to a LGBT zone in Africa.
I get that. I get that. I mean, if I was born gay, I wouldn't want to be in a country that, you know.
Did you say if you was born gay?
Did you just say born gay?
Yeah, if I was born.
No, they weren't born gay.
Oh, they weren't born gay?
No.
How'd they get gay?
No.
Well, I don't know how they got gay, but they were practicing a bisexual lifestyle though, and then leaning towards lesbianism, and they left because of that. They left Uganda.
Well, put it like, if for whatever reason I had a strong desire for some gay shit, I wouldn't want to be in a country that's beheading gays. That's just how that is, you know. So, I mean, it kind of for South Africa, it kind of like like if most of the continent is like that, it seems like they'll be getting like a lot of homosexual refugees. So, you know, the whole country could be like, you know, San Francisco, but I mean, it is what it is, you know.
San Francisco.
Is what it is. Hey, Zone, we're talking about Western influence on other countries, developing, particularly developing countries. So if you want a link, go ahead and hit me up because I like to get another international perspective. I don't know if you actually come from Asia, but you know I would like to get another international perspective because today we are just covering Africa, but it would be nice to get some an Asian perspective on it too. So basically, you can't escape Western values or, you know, this Westernization of women. It seems unescapable. I mean, yeah, you can get it to where it's less, you know, to where you're not walking down the street and a bunch of bald-headed transsexual women, you know, are telling their daughters, you know, every day that they're beautiful and look at their legs, you know. So it's probably not as bad, but the only thing that's stopping it from getting that bad is opportunity.
True.
Truth.
Wow. So as an American, GK, were they asking you to buy, because you told me about the sick grandmother situation. Were they asking, in addition to that, were they asking that you maintain a certain level of, you know, that you, just like American women or, you know, pretty much any woman, that you facilitate their looks?
Oh, of course. Yeah, pay for the salon and the nails. Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't ask me to help get them some running water.
They didn't ask to live with you in your, you know, water running mansion.
No, they didn't ask for any. They didn't ask for me to help them get a generator so that they can always have electricity. They just wanted the vanity, the appearance.
That's deep.
Okay, so it's not really about attracting a mate then.
I know, and that's when you stepped away, I was talking about how they've got this independent mindset now.
Oh,
Yeah.
On top of everything else.
Yeah, and it's insanity. I was saying, I don't know if you heard me, but it's total insanity for them to have the independent woman thing because they don't have safety nets, welfare, like the Western women have. So they want to be Western without Westernization. It's just crazy as fuck.
It's destructive is what it is. It's first and third world problems at the same time.
Indeed.
You know, like they have this. I mean, I feel sorry for the Ugandan brothers who are actually trying to stay this behavior, you know. I mean, or who have to deal with these problems.
I got something else to say really big in just a moment. Let me finish eating up real quick. Y'all gonna want to hear this.
Okay, definitely. But yeah, I feel sorry for the Ugandan brothers who are actually trying to stay this tidal wave, you know, because I was talking to a brother a year ago, and he was telling me about this program some bitch was doing, some 2-inch hair bitch was, she was talking about, this wasn't Uganda, this was a West African country, that she was talking about, you know, getting them shelter and food and clothing for, you know, for battered women. So it was basically like this whole big battered women's program that she wanted to do. It was going to be a nonprofit. Now, nonprofits are never that. All right, put it like this. The NFL is a nonprofit organization, and you know that they profit from it. So the whole nonprofit thing is bullshit. So she wants to set up a nonprofit, you know, which she gets a salary, and that salary is her profit. Anyway, for these African women and girls where they house the victims of battered women, and they increase the living standard of these victims past what they would have were they not battered. So they set these, baits, and they say, look, if you're a battered woman, here's an apartment with running water and shit like that. Are you a battered woman? So of course, what are they going to say at that point? What are they going to say at that point?
Right.
So then the statistics for battered women gets exaggerated, and next thing you know, you count, it's like, wow, 100% of the 120% of the African population seem to be battered women, and only 2% are women. But that's neither here nor there. So the false statistics coming out of it is skewed as a result of programs like this, and they are profiting from it. They are trying to create a safety net in countries that cannot and probably just don't want these safety nets.
Right.
Also, they can profit from it. So what are your thoughts on that, Triple X?
Yeah, I think, as me and GK was talking about before you stepped away, all of these places has had Western influencers infiltrate these countries on the continent, specifically like Uganda, not specifically, but in a major way, Uganda. And it has had an extreme negative effect on the culture, man. That's why you have them trying to push LGBT agenda there, and coming up with a Love and Hip Hop Uganda and those type of things, man. They want this type of Western utopia in a non-Western place without the Western benefits and support. So I think they're fooling themselves, and the men need to really get control of their country before it goes off the cliff, women-wise at least. And they'll be having the same issues that we run into over here pretty soon if they don't get control.
Okay, so agreed. Now, people like Obsidian, shout out to the old man, people like Obsidian believe that once the cuts come, that Black American women will get in line and start behaving in the traditional fashion.
Right. I think realistically, that's going to be quite a few years off, because the cuts have to happen, and then they have to actually hit the pavement in a large amount and lick the pavement in a large group of women. And once that happens, then you may see a slight shift toward more cooperative women. I could see that happening down the road, but it's going to take a while. But I could see that potentially happening. But I mean, women are survivalists, man. And I think a lot of guys actually underestimate their ability to survive. And once they've gotten used to a level of power and freedom, they ain't going to want to just give that up so easily. I think a lot of them. Go ahead, man.
Well, here's the thing. According to GK, they have tasted the pavement, or whether they tasted the dirt underneath where pavement would be in a developed country, and they still won't get in line. So, it seems like even if somebody was to turn the water off on American women and remove the safety nets, this will still exist.
I think to a large degree it probably would, man. It just would not go away overnight. That's for sure. Go ahead, GK.
Yeah, I think that the women would find ways to survive off of simps.
Yeah.
Off of simps. A few simps could support a lot of women.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be a lot of saving out here.
A lot of saving.
Simps or tricks?
Huh?
Simps or tricks?
Simp tricks.
Okay.
Yeah. I really think so. I think you have a couple of men paying a lot of women's way.
Yeah.
So, damn.
And maybe he's able to sleep with her once a 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, because what's gonna happen, Game Changer, what's not happening now is a lot of really attractive women would trickle down to more normal or to the unattractive, not doing as much guys, and they're gonna do everything in their power to try to maintain that.
Yep.
Wait a minute. So you're saying that this BMT shit is just going to continue?
Oh man.
Okay. So GK, you said you had something you want to share?
Oh, I did, man. Something you said a moment ago reminded me of this. There's something else going on with the women in these African places too.
Oh shit.
Yeah, where their body counts. See, this is the first time sexual liberation has really hit them in a long, long time. So now they're starting to sleep around so much to where the local guys, I've had a lot of in-depth discussions with the local guys, with businessmen, guys who knows what's going on, men who have been married, or even guys who still are married. And they're telling me the local women are seeking the biggest dick now. Like if she starts having sex at say 17 and she's been with 5-10 dudes by the time she's 25, she's looking for a bigger and bigger dicks. This is what the guys tell me. And now it's getting to the point where the men can't satisfy the girls. So the men now are dating out just like American men are dating out.
Oh my fucking God.
Yes.
Oh my fucking God. Now I would assume that African men got big dicks. I would assume that.
Well, when everybody has a big dick and the girls are used to it, now she wants something that's ungodly.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Like, the shit is just awful. Like, because they have reached the dick cliff. Like, you cannot get bigger. There isn't a place in the world to go to find bigger dicks. They are just at the apex and they still want more. Oh shit. That shit is fucking bonkers. That shit is fucking bonkers. They don't even have large condoms in the Philippines. I shit you not. They don't have the magnums anywhere. I cannot find them shits anywhere. Shit's fucked up. So appreciate it what the fuck they got. These bitches got the world's biggest dicks. And they just walking around looking for bigger. God damn, you're right. That shit was a fucking bombshell. Yeah, damn, that's fucked up on so many levels.
Right. So what these guys are doing, the guys who have the means, they're going to neighboring countries looking for women. And they're going to other African countries that may not be as sexually liberated as Uganda has become.
But I mean, like, Uganda is like one of the poorest countries on a very poor continent. Like, why do they have higher demands? Why would a guy go to South Africa, take his slightly below maximum size dick to a more developed? So the guys are moving to the West. Yep. The shit is fucking retarded.
And they're all chasing, whenever they see European tourists, all the men start chasing the white girls real quick.
Well, I thought that was on some fucking gigolo shit.
Sometimes. See, you got two different types, because you got the guys that I'm talking about, but then you've also got the gigolo, because they're catering to the white sex tourists, women. But that's a little different. Because the guys I'm talking about,
in and of itself.
Huh?
I said that shit is sick in and of itself.
My whole thing is they're doing all these remakes. If you're gonna remake it,
you talking about the
like men. Well, I mean, female male sex tourism. I mean, to me, I shouldn't say sick, but to me, it devalues the men.
Well, yeah,
that's just me personally.
I can see where you're coming from with that. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
and I used to feel bad for the for the women in these countries. That. Because I mean, what they say to where chicks come from another country and all your men is just fawning over them, and they just letting you walk to work in muddy shoes. But now it's like, look, y'all don't appreciate the dick that y'all got. If y'all don't appreciate this African dick, then somebody else will.
Right, and then you got colorism, big time.
Oh shit!
Big
all right,
time.
tell us about the colorism.
You got the men and the women. They're all going for lighter and whiter.
Okay.
You know, the guys, they're like, I would go to clubs sometimes, and all the guys would be chasing the mulattoes that were at the club, because you do have a mulatto class.
Oh, I didn't know that. I mean,
Very
I knew.
small.
I just assumed that there were a few straight light skinned bitches, but there's a whole class of them.
It's a very, very small class. I don't know if you want to call it a class, but
Okay.
they're there.
Okay.
There's definitely a group of mulattoes, and they're
Okay.
privileged. They're privileged, and all the dark skinned African guys want them. And the same thing goes for a guy like me. I'm light skinned, and all the women, it opens doors. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for real?
Oh, it
Okay.
opens doors easy for me with the women. Like, I can't remember if I don't think I've ever been rejected ever once in Africa.
So, I'm not trying to get into your personal business, but did they ever leave you for a bigger dick?
I don't
I'm
think
just
any
fucking. I'm just fucking.
You know what though? Real talk. I don't think I've ever I don't think I've ever been left by an African woman either.
Because you light skinned it.
Yeah. Yeah. They'll hold on. They'll play that card forever because, you know.
It's a status thing. Yeah, I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm brown skinned, so would they show me love?
You might have to show a little bit more money than I would have to show.
Okay.
Maybe. Mm-hmm.
You just have to show your light skinnedness, and it's all good. I have to actually, like, you know, show them some running water and like flush the toilet 20 times. Like,
Right.
yeah, but I got it like that. You know.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, the way they're looking at it, if nothing else, they can still get a lighter skinned baby from me.
Damn.
Just saying. If nothing else. That's how colorism works, man.
Yeah, I get it. You know, I mean, I try not to sympathize about it because it leads to the mentality that we seen earlier, these Chrissy type chicks and, you know, restricted Strober chicks. You know, I mean, when people look for victimhood anywhere it is, but I mean, me having to show a little bit more money than you or Edward Anderson or Xanatos or AM1, I don't really see that as being a victim of anything. That's just like, hey, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, you know?
Right. Right. Because we had to deal with stuff you wouldn't have to deal with there, like guys giving me the mean stare because they're upset that I'm with their local woman.
Mm-hmm.
You probably wouldn't have to deal with that. You know what I mean?
GK, I'm curious, man. How was that experience interacting with women in Ethiopia?
I tell you what, in Ethiopia, the women were a little more humble than the sub-Saharan, darker skinned blacks.
Yeah.
African countries.
Yeah.
The men seem to have more of an ownership over the women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering that. I was gonna say, what type of pushback did you receive from the men messing with the women over there?
Well, let me tell you this. For me personally, I didn't get much pushback from the men because I look Ethiopian.
Okay.
Like there were people in Ethiopia who thought I was Ethiopian.
Oh, wow.
Same thing I get when I go to Dominican Republic. A lot of them don't know I'm a foreigner.
I get that too until I talk.
Right.
I
So,
don't
but
think I get that in Ethiopia, but I get that in Dominican until I talk.
mm-hmm. But now I will say I think Ethiopian men probably have you probably have a higher chance of them trying to do something to you if they found out a foreigner is taking all their women or whatever, just because Ethiopian men feel more ownership of the local landscape, if that makes sense.
So with that ownership, do you see like less of the fuckery that you see in Uganda? So I think Uganda is like a special place, and this is what I get from O'Shea too. I think Uganda is like a specially fucked up place in Africa.
I saw fuckery in Tanzania, not as much as Uganda. And also, let's be clear, the fuckery was not throughout the whole country of Uganda. It was mostly in the capital city, Kampala.
Oh.
There were places you can go in Uganda to escape the fuckery. I mean, have lower levels of the fuckery.
Well, I mean, but if you're traveling in like rural dirt road areas and you still see fuckery.
But that was still in the city. That was still like a
Oh,
suburb.
okay. So their capital has dirt roads and shit. Oh, I got you. I got you.
Yes, it's bad. It's bad, man. The roads in Africa are enough to make a person not want to be there.
Damn, it's that bad, huh?
But still, the roads are terrible, man. In a lot of those countries. Ethiopia had some of the best roads I saw on the whole continent. In fact, I know this is slightly off subject, but Ethiopia is preparing to be the next China in the next 50 years, they're saying. And they're getting the infrastructure ready for it because they know it's coming.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard about that on a TED talk with this Asian woman. I think it was Ethiopia that she was talking about, but I know it's East Africa. Maybe Kenya, but she was talking about that because as China becomes a consumer nation, as opposed to a manufacturing nation, who's going to make this shit for China when they used to make this shit for America?
That's right.
You know, and you know the Pacific just isn't going to cut it for 1.6 billion for a single country at 1.6 billion. You know, so as they move out the factories and into the malls and shit, you know, who's going to make their shit and America's shit? And the only place that's left is Africa.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, so she gave an example of a minister, a brother, when she was offering to donate charity. He said, "No, we don't want your charity." He said, "We want jobs. We want infrastructure. We want we want you to teach us a manufacturing base." And she did. In fact, I'm gonna see if I can find that TED talk.
Let me mention something about Ethiopia real quick.
Sure.
The reason you might not see the weave, vanity, and stuff as much is because the Ethiopian women have a different hair anyway.
Notice that? Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah, so they're not gonna have the same market for weave and wigs like the other countries have.
Right. Hey, GK, how much Western influence would you say has infiltrated Ethiopia?
Quite a bit. I mean, but maybe not in the worst ways.
Yeah.
Like I said, their roads were some of the best roads I saw. That's a good Western influence.
Okay.
Most of the places had electricity and it didn't go out. Like in Uganda, Tanzania, 4 hours of every day, you pretty much were going to be without electricity for about 4 hours. In Ethiopia, I didn't see that going on so much in Ethiopia.
Yeah.
So that's a good Western influence.
Yeah. Did you go to Eritrea too?
I did not go to Eritrea. I met some Eritrean women in Ethiopia.
Okay.
But I never went to Eritrea.
Okay.
So,
hey, go ahead, Game Changer.
So are they as beautiful? Because I get a feeling that we get the best of the best here in the States. Is that the case, or are they just as beautiful in the country?
They are. They're just as beautiful, but that's everywhere around the world to me. You asking the wrong guy.
No, I went to the Philippines and I got the impression that, at least in California, that we get their best.
Okay.
Really?
Like the fucking top 10% will come here, marry a white guy, have a daughter, and the daughters just look like her mama, or something like that. But when you go there, it's I mean, I'm not gonna shit on Ethiopian women, or Filipino women, but it's like Filipino American women are a little bit hotter than Filipino women.
How long were you in Philippines?
3 weeks, as long as the visa.
There's a good chance that if you had been there for like 3 months or 6 months, you would have found the better ones.
Oh, I see.
Sometimes in 3 weeks, you don't even know what the hell's going on yet.
Okay.
True. Hey, GK, if a guy had opportunity to visit, sound like you've been a lot of places in Africa. If you had opportunity, a guy that haven't been there, to visit 2 countries, which 2 would you suggest?
I say Tanzania and Ethiopia.
Okay.
Tanzania, Ethiopia.
Hey, fellas, talk amongst yourself. I got something I got to take care of right quick.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Tanzania is my favorite, and I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna keep certain stuff a secret. Let me be quiet.
Yeah, right.
Put that out like that and have all these
No,
niggas.
I know. I don't want you to mess up your situation or nothing like that.
Yeah,
so I got you.
but another good place is that big old island, Madagascar.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a cool one too. On the west, I went to Ghana and Nigeria. I didn't really like the West. Let me just say this though. That's me personally.
Yeah.
However, I do believe a lot of American men would like Ghana.
Really?
I just didn't like it. Because I've known a lot of American men who've liked Ghana. I know some that even live there now.
Okay.
So it's probably just me. I don't like it.
What I miss? What don't you like?
Oh, I was just saying, in West Africa, I don't like Ghana, but I know a lot of American men do, and a lot of them even stay there. There's a population of American expats living in Ghana, so it's probably a good place to check out. Me personally, I don't like it.
Okay. What turned you off about it, GK?
This general, I just kind of got this feeling that generally people were trying to be American. And I don't want to be in a foreign place where people are trying to be American. I just don't. That's not why I'm there.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. I agree, man. Character of America. I got you.
It's weird when women want to be American in the face of men who are trying to escape American women. I mean, they should have a unique perspective in the sense that we're not trying to that we're trying to leave American women.
No,
you know, like they should feel valued as being a non-American woman. I guess that's what I'm getting at.
They feel like they've got to be as close to American as possible, or we won't be interested. So it's kind of backwards.
Yeah, and that's not just African women. I got that in the Philippines too. They were trying to be, like, oh yes, white men like white women. I'm like, well, then why are they here?
Exactly.
Like they weren't getting that.
Exactly.
So it's weird, but my bad. I interrupted.
No, good. But yeah, but let me say, some of the worst women I've ever met were African women who moved to the States.
Oh yeah, I told you about those Ethiopian chicks who I had a Mercury Topaz. It was on a double date with my partner and the chick that he met at Blockbuster, and this was in the 90s. And they was walking around saying that niggas Lexuses were cheap. Oh. And yeah, and I'm in like a fucking 1992 or some shit Mercury Topaz. And I had to press the button to open the gas tank to turn on the radio because the shit was all wired fucked up and shit. And these chicks was also for real gold digger shit. It was funny as fuck, but they were sexy as hell. So they had every right to be. I was hoping that they didn't know it, but they knew it.
Have any of y'all ever been to an Ethiopian, Eritrean, or some other African club in the States?
I've been to a restaurant and they have an open mic at the end of it, but that's for African Americans. I think they just leased the place to it. But no, I don't think I've ever been to like one of their actual events. Why? What's up?
Well, I've been to nightclubs, Ethiopian owned, and 95% of the people in there are Ethiopian.
Okay.
You will see the same behavior you see in Black American nightclubs.
Okay.
They're in there trying to mimic us. I've been to some in Atlanta that do that. And you also see the girls all flocking to the dude in the VIP with the bottles.
Okay.
The same thing. And some of these people are like first generation Ethiopian.
Well, I don't mind a little hypergamy, especially now since I have more money. But
yeah, hypergamy is actually good.
It depends on the end, like you know, hypergamy is a means, but to what end are they going to use it? I mean, are they looking for it as a support system for family stability and financial security for family, or are they really just want new shoes to impress other bitches? That seems to be what they were looking for in Uganda, you know.
Yep.
But, you know, if they are looking for financial stability that's on par with their beauty, then nothing wrong with that. I mean, in my opinion, especially, you know, these are beautiful women. I mean, and it would not be in their best interest for them to ignore that.
Yeah, I agree.
You know,
totally. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow, man. What can I say? I've been to some Ethiopian restaurants when I was living in DC, and I mean, from where the times I've hung out in there, I would tend to lean toward what GK has said. Pretty much just a caricature of American black man.
Yep.
Yep. I would agree with that.
Wait, you say what?
No, I was saying from the time I haven't been to any Ethiopian clubs or anything, but the time I spent like in a lot of the restaurants and like a few of the spots, they had like open mics and stuff when I was staying in DC. And from what I've seen, it seemed to primarily be just like a normal American black restaurant club. I didn't see anything too out of the ordinary.
You know something that is a trip because I don't know if it's just out here, but I do see them, and they're identifiably Ethiopian. I do see them in American nightclubs, but
yeah,
their behavior is different. I mean, like I want other cultural shit, you know, like bring something because I actually like their food. You know, I like that you eat it with your hands, and I like the what are those triangle things called, GK?
Samosa.
Yeah, I love samosa. I love that shit. You know, I eat that shit like potato chips. You know, and yeah, I like the shit that you eat with your hands. It's chicken something. It's like a chili or something. But so I mean, I like bring some other culture if you're gonna do this shit. Don't just do our shit. These chicks had the fucked up accent that was the Blockbuster and her cousin. They were saying Jaga, Jaga. I was laughing my ass off, you know. It's like, yeah, you a lot sexier than American chicks, but don't be American chicks calling niggas Lexus cheat. I'm fucking 19 years old. This is I'm trying to make it in my world, trying to make it in the world, trying to compete with the grown ass niggas that's trying to fuck you, you know.
Right.
So it is what it is.
Crazy.
Yeah, hypergamy is not a friend to a young man. But so you would say that Uganda is like a special case. I'm hoping that there are places in Africa that is not that far on the fuck shit.
I'm not gonna say Uganda's a special place. If O'Shea said that or gives that impression, could it be? I don't know where all he's been in Africa, but maybe he needs to travel more in Africa because it's not that much of a special place.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're saying that these muddy high heel bitches are everywhere?
I think they're in more places than Uganda.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, did you get to go to the Ivory Coast?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not.
So
seems pretty cool there, but seems to be pretty dangerous too, from what I hear.
Is it? Yeah, I hear Senegal is good too. I hear Senegal is good.
Yeah, I heard good things about Senegal though.
Have you had a chance to travel, Triple X?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said, have you had a chance to travel?
Yeah. Just not to the continent yet though.
Yeah, me either. I think one of the main reasons why brothers don't do it, at least for me, this is just me, is that it's a continent, you know, and it's like where to go. There isn't like set tourist destinations.
Yeah, it's not. That's why I'm asking GK all these questions, man, because I don't it's not often that I meet somebody that has been there, especially to multiple places there. Usually people have been to Kenya or maybe just Uganda, but I rarely meet anybody that's been to like Senegal, Ivory Coast, Madagascar, Rwanda.
Rwanda's real good now too.
Would you say?
Not to cut you off, but Rwanda is really good now.
Rwanda's good?
Yeah, since they had that bloodbath civil war,
yeah,
they've really cleaned up since then. Because that's what happens in countries after a civil war; they make it really good after it. Just like how Germany's so great now.
Yeah.
After what happened there, so
yeah,
Rwanda is very clean. Lots of new, modern type of stuff. The people are generally educated. You know.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Cool. I'm gonna keep that in mind. GK, what would you say is 2 places you like to go, and what countries you like to go to on a continent that you haven't been yet?
To be honest, I think I've gone where I want to go.
Okay.
I'm not interested in a whole lot of other places. Maybe it's out of ignorance.
Okay.
But so far, if I had it my way, I would probably be living in Tanzania right now.
Okay.
Okay, I'm doing 2 things at once. So I found that TED Talk I was talking about. Here, I'll just put the link in the description box. But she was saying some interesting stuff. Chinese woman. So she was saying that when she was a girl, how there were hotels, and China wasn't developed to the point that it is now, and white was associated with wealth, and the white guys used to come around and be big willies and shit at the hotels that her mom worked at or something like that, and now that's changing, and they're doing that same thing in Africa. But it's weird. So basically, she sees Africa taking a path of China. I don't really know where that will leave America. If China becomes a new America and Africa becomes a new China, then what will America become? But it's an interesting TED Talk. I'm gonna put the link in the chat room.
America is destined to fall. It has to happen.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
America,
no, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say I think the United States is on track to be the shortest-lived world empire ever. Because what has America really only been on top for? What, about something like 80 years?
1976. Well, that's not really on top. Yeah. So
right. About 80 years on top, something like that.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It's gonna be the short
empire. So
well, I say we're an empire because the whole world pretty much is on the U.S. dollar.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point, GK. Very good point. Very good point.
Yeah, I mean, if these BRICS country, BRICS country, get off of the U.S. dollar, which is what they're proposing, then yeah, that will be a calamity, to which it'll be very difficult to recover. So I mean, you can't use 5 times your resources, or a fifth of the world's resources, and once the rest of the world begins to use more resources themselves, then there isn't enough resources to cover everyone. So you're right. It's destined to happen. I hope it doesn't happen, in my lifetime. And I hope that it doesn't happen when I'm too fucking old to defend myself against some fucking, road warrior shit.
Right.
Because, then it's a lose-lose. I mean, and these black pill niggas, they just want to see Western society collapse because then that'll get those fucking, weave heads walking down the mud roads in line. And it's like, I don't think so. I think that he'll just be a nigga without a toilet, and they'll still be the same. You will be a Ugandan dude at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, because I mean the influence is already there. You know, I mean, wealth or not, like you, what you said about Uganda is an example of that. Wealth or not, the influence is there. And even if America lost its wealth, the influence from the previous generation of having it is still going to be there.
Yep.
You know, that's not going to go away anytime soon. So when brothers, you know, are yelling cuts and shit, like it's like, look, that's not gonna fly. They will do anything not to lose this culture that they created for themselves. Like this culture was created for them. As toxic as it is for, you know, the rest of the world, it was created for a woman's benefit. It's not going to go away pretty, and it's not going to go away just because male society collapsed.
Yeah,
That's
black,
fact, game changer. It won't go easy. It'll definitely be a fight for sure. Once a woman accustoms and assumes a certain level of lifestyle, she can seldom go back.
Exactly.
men tend to be really short-sighted sometimes.
Agreed.
Yeah. I hear that talk from like the black pill portion. I hear that shit from white dudes too.
Yeah.
You know, like the turd flinging monkeys or the Sandman types. You know, they talk about. I don't know. It's weird because it's like, you know, oh yeah, when the world collapsed, then I'll get my dick sucked. It's like, god damn.
Incel talk.
Yeah, y'all don't know how fucked up that sounds.
And these guys who talking this shit, they won't be the ones getting their dick sucked either.
That shit sounds fucked up. And yeah, I mean, I would hate to be in their shoes to where the world collapses and you still don't get your dick sucked. You know, then you know that's all kind of fucked up. You know,
World collapse is not going to change the 80-20 rule that they always talk about. In fact, the world collapse might push the 80-20 rule to something like 95-5.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you know, 5% of men would fuck 95% of women. I mean,
yeah,
like that will just be the thing. So yeah, I don't know where they're. It'll be a different type of five. You know, it'll be an economic five, not just a
military 5.
Yeah, or even a military five, depending on the level of collapse. But it's not going to be because they don't belong to any five.
Yep, exactly.
You know, so like, and I don't either. At least I don't think. I don't belong to any five either. I did not graduate at the top 5% of my class. I don't think any of these dudes did either. So, you know, I'm not like the top 5% tallest people in the world. I don't think I'm 6 foot. So I think maybe like the top 5% would probably be like 6'2" or something like that. So yeah. I
got a question.
I mean, I do meet the top 80%, fortunately, in some of these categories, but not the top 5. Go ahead. Yeah.
In Asian, was Philippines the only place you went in Asia?
China.
In China, how did they respond to your height?
Well, the kids asked me if I was a basketball player, and some of the girls asked to take pictures of me, and they put it like on their Facebook and shit like that, like immediately. Like they were real happy to do it.
Do you think you were received by the women like just in romantic terms better based on height?
Better than their men, worse than white men.
Okay. Yeah. I get it.
So that's how it was. There were girls there that would not date a black man under any circumstances, even if I was, you know, like a rich jawline nigga. You know, that's just as a rule. The guys who got the most play, even over white dudes, were Koreans.
Really?
Yeah. Koreans come there just for tricking.
Oh, okay.
And they tend to be wealthier than the white guys, and of course the black guys, by a large margin. So unlike what you described on African girls, where they just assume that, if you make more than 13K, you're rich, they understand that it's levels to the shit. And they understand also that Koreans just so happen to be, at least the ones that visit there, at the highest level.
That makes me think there's something going wrong in Korea with relationships.
Yeah, it makes me think that too. In fact, the entire culture, the entire like tourist scene is catered to Koreans. Like, because they like karaoke bars and shit like that, So it's designed to bring them in, like white dudes aren't really into that shit. Now they do have some things that are for white dudes, like midget fighting. I thought that was interesting. I actually like that shit. But yeah. But yeah, so that's how it is as far as their guys go. I mean, as far as what they like. But it's not like a huge thing because they prefer foreign men over everything else. However, it is better to be an unattractive Korean guy than an attractive black guy.
Wow.
Or an attractive white guy.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But that makes me think the West has gone into Korea and messed up their relationship dynamic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, the West went into Japan and really fucked it up, something fierce.
Right.
My cousin was telling, I've never been to Japan, but my cousin was telling me that it's like kidless towns and shit. And I seen it on a news special that they did. It's like kidless towns, like how Toys R Us went out of business. They have like whole towns without candy stores and fairs and shit. Like their fertility rate is just fucking garbage.
And their MGTOW is far more advanced than American MGTOW.
Oh yeah.
Like they're not speaking to women at all.
Exactly.
Period.
Exactly. Hey, I admire that. That's that samurai shit. That's that samurai kamikaze shit. Because really what they're saying is, I would rather I'd die before I surrender to some simp shit.
Well, there is some simp shit going on, or trick shit you might call it. This is what I haven't been there, but I was told in Tokyo, they've got these like somewhat like a brothel set up where the men are so starved of female attention and female companionship that the men come in there and they will pay like $80 to do nothing but eat a chick's ass.
I don't know if that's like a fetish thing.
Well, when I heard them talking about it, they were saying it had to do with the guys who are they're so starved because of the way the relationship dynamic is there. But it could be a fetish thing. I don't know.
Well, I mean, because they could just put that $80 towards sex. I don't know how much a prostitute goes for there, but they could just put that $80 towards sex. Like, but the fact that they want to eat the ass means that they have a particular thing going on where they like eating ass.
Yeah, that makes sense. Depending on the price. Yeah.
Yeah, and I doubt that it's like a tier. I doubt that that the hoes is just walking around like, all right, it's $80 to eat the ass, $140 to fuck me, and the dudes are like, okay, I'm gonna save $60 in each ass. I think that they just on some ass eating shit. Some ass eating shit. Yeah, I think they just on some. But it's funny because the guys there, and this is something that's that I don't admire about African American culture and men, is that they don't define their manhood by pussy. Once you do that, you pretty much lost anything you try to do against women's desires. So, I mean, they openly say like, yeah, I'll fuck a robot, before I spend a huge effort with minimal results.
Yeah. They're using logic.
Yeah, they're using logic in that regard. And I get it, I get where they're coming from. And
What I
I admire it to a certain extent. I mean, I think that there's balance. I think on one far end you have brothers, and I think on another far end you have Japanese men. I'd like to see myself somewhere in the middle. Like brothers will spend 1,000 hours a year in the gym. Now I'll go to the gym, but brothers will spend 1,000 hours a year in the gym just to get 10 hours a year of extra pussy.
I'm telling you, man.
And I'm like, maybe you should reevaluate how you're spending your time. And then on the other hand, Japanese men won't do shit, but they walk around fucking robots and have like these little AI girlfriends and shit like that. I seen on a special report. So I like to see myself as somewhere in the middle of that shit, but it's some far ends. But what are you gonna say?
Did y'all hear about the robots in Spain? The sex robots and the sex dolls in the brothel.
Oh no, they have them in brothels now?
They had a brothel in Spain going. I can't remember which city it was, but it got shut down because they were putting the human prostitutes out of business.
Prostitution is legal there?
Yeah, and wherever this was, I can't remember. It wasn't a big city. It was one of those other towns. You could look it up though. But
yeah,
the local prostitutes were losing money, so they kind of like petitioned the government and got that spot shut down because the men preferred the sex dolls.
God damn.
Yep.
God damn. I'm looking at the thing. Why they got a skeleton with a wig on it?
Damn.
So yeah, I'm into some weird shit, but I would say Japanese are into the weirdest shit. As far as sex goes.
Yeah, they're finished.
And this is just an outsider perspective.
Japan's finished anyway, though, because of that reactor, that nuclear situation. They're done.
What happened with that?
They say that reactor is still emitting radiation right now. They haven't shut it down. The one that
wasn't that like in 2002 or 3 or some shit like that?
Oh, I think what was it? It was just about a decade ago. When was that? You remember when they had that that earthquake thing it ruptured that nuclear plant? It was much more recent than 2002.
Okay.
I can't remember which year, but they had to shut it down.
Oh no, I remember. Wait, was this a result of the tsunami or this was something else?
I think so. The tsunami, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, you're right. It was after 2002, right?
Yeah, they have not shut that reactor down. It's still emitting radiation now, so they don't have a future there. And a lot of them know it. They say a lot of them are fleeing to Korea and other Asian countries.
Oh, so maybe that's it. Maybe that's why the Philippines, is getting that influx. Maybe I don't know. Maybe these are Japanese guys.
Yeah.
They got there by way of Korea or who knows, but yeah, it's fucked up. But yeah, so the Filipino girls, they there is a racial hierarchy, but it's not like it's not something that's going to stop you. Just like you would get more than me in Uganda or in anywhere else that colorism exists, anywhere else in sub-Saharan Africa would exist, and I would just have to accept that. It's kind of like that.
Right.
It's kind of like colorism. Colorism is a big thing there, but it's not a race-based thing. Meaning, if you are a darker skinned Filipino girl, you would still be considered less attractive than a lighter, and you're lighter than a black girl, but you're darker than a light-skinned Filipina. You're considered like less than the black girl if she's more attractive than you, of course.
Like that in Dominican Republic, where you got attractive dark-skinned women who can't find a man because the men there don't really want them like that. Or really? I don't mean to say they can't find a man. I don't mean to say it like that, but they have to settle for the leftovers, where an unattractive light-skinned woman can get a better deal.
I didn't get that.
I did, especially in Santiago. A lot of
Really?
people on the
I've
inner
been to
part.
Santiago for like a little bit, but
Yeah.
so that's true there.
That's what I saw.
Damn.
A little bit in Puerto Plata too.
Oh, I didn't see that at all in Puerto Plata.
And I'm gonna tell you what I saw in Sosua. One time I was only there for 2 days, but I saw guys walking around with those light-skinned prostitutes, right?
Mhm.
That weren't even pretty. And I would see the darker skinned girls that looked a whole lot better, and it was harder for them to find clients. I'm telling you, I saw this.
I've been to Sosua. I seen something different.
Okay.
I seen something different. Non-American white dudes will be all over the dark-skinned Haitians there. And I'm not talking about on some hour pleasure shit. I'm talking about some, long-term kick it with me for the week shit.
Wow, that's interesting.
Now these are not American dudes. These are like Canadians or European guys.
I see.
But I don't know, maybe because they don't have many like different types of black women there, and they've been with white women so long, they want something that's distinctively black.
Right.
But I did notice that.
You don't think they were going for the lowest price?
No, because they're the same price. I mean, well, they're driving up the price.
Okay.
Hey, Game Changer.
And if they were, go ahead.
Yeah, I got to get ready to roll, man. But thanks for having me on, man.
Okay, I appreciate you, Triple X.
All right, man. Talk with you guys soon. Peace, Game Changer. Peace, GK.
Hey, peace.
All right.
I got to roll too in a second.
Okay. But yeah, because a white dude asked me, and I was like, no, they're the same price. Because I was at both Golden Eagle. I was at Quezon City and Manila. And then I went to Subic Beach, something like that. But this white dude from LA asked me, who's never been with a black woman, like, are they a lower price for the darker ones? And I was like, I don't really think so. I don't think that they like sell themselves at a lower price. I don't know, but I don't think so, because they were with the ones I seen who were with guys with more money.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm sure that happens too. I'm sure that happens. Let me tell you why I prefer the darker ones on that island.
Mm-hmm.
I know for sure the darker ones that I know,
mm-hmm.
I know that they get less people trying to holler at them because of their skin tone.
Oh, really?
Like I know that for fact. And the light ones that I've dealt with don't even look as good, and they got more people trying to chase them down and offer them the world,
You know who's the light-skinned bitch of light-skinned bitches?
What's that?
Venezuelan.
Oh yeah.
This light-skinned bitch put Venezuelan in my phone when she gave me her number. I shit you not.
Wow.
Hold on, let me see. I still got the shit. This bitch name was and she was fucking gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, but she made it a point to say that she is Venezuelan, because there's a lot of refugees. Not a lot, but there are refugees there from Venezuela.
I'd like to go to Venezuela.
I mean,
probably dangerous right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they're that conceited, because like, I don't think she understood. Maybe she didn't know I was American. But I wasn't speaking English, or I wasn't speaking Spanish. But I don't think she understood that it's all exotic to us. That you're just as foreign as the Dominican girls are to us. You're not getting any special points for being Venezuela. If you were, I would, like you suggested, go to Venezuela. But like, I don't know. She just came off as real conceited. Like, like, I am above these Dominican chicks, or these Dominican and Haitian chicks. I am Venezuelan. The shit was weird. And she put the shit in my phone. But they do shit like that. I met this badass Here it is. Yeah, Erica Venezuela. But I met this badass doctor chick there, and she was only 24 years old. And I was like, God, she was a dentist. At least she claimed. Like, all of this could be bullshit. But she spoke English real well. And, but she had a boyfriend, and she was like, I don't know if we should visit. I'm like, well, look, just give me a number, and this is my last day here, so who knows what your relationship status would be when I come back. So we talked a couple times, but then I guess her boyfriend found out and she blocked me, or maybe she just wanted to. But I'm going off on a tangent, man. Yeah, the dark skinned girls. I like the dark skinned girls because they like to fuck. Like those Haitian girls, they love to fuck.
I think all of them like to fuck, really, to me.
My
experience.
The Dominican girls, they like it in a different way. They don't like the physical aspect of it as much. I mean, they like it, but they don't like it as much as the Haitian girls, in my experience. Like the Haitian girls be like, "Give me the Zuzu."
In my
what the fuck is Zuzu?
Dominicans like it, but they don't like to verbalize it.
Maybe that's it.
They don't like to how much they like it, but all you got to do is, spend enough time around them. The sex is coming like clockwork.
Oh yeah. Well, Dominican girls are passionate too. Like they will, like, not on some hood shit, and maybe because it's the fact that they're hotter, that everything they do is hotter. But
I think do with less body count.
Really?
I think you're probably dealing with women who have not been with 50 guys like the average American girl has.
Okay.
I really think that.
Is it just me, or do Dominican girls like to fight other Dominican girls over dick?
They're jealous.
Okay.
They are jealous. Yeah. In fact, I've noticed the Haitian ones, they're not so jealous.
Really?
In my limited experience.
Okay.
Seem like they're not as jealous, but Dominican girls, they're trying to compete.
Yeah.
They're trying to be the number one girl. But I give them credit. A lot of them are okay with you having your other girls as long as she can feel like she's the number one.
Really?
She wants to compete to make herself the most important one, even if you've got others.
I haven't broached that subject, but if that's true, it's not true in the case where they know the other.
No, they don't want to see her.
Okay. Because if two Dominican girls are interested in you, not even with you, are interested in you at the same time, it's a fight.
I see.
It is a fucking fight.
Yeah, I never had that experience, but I believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just tell them, like, they'll know that I have girls in another town. Like one might be in Puerto Plata, the other might be in La Vega.
Okay.
One might be in Santiago, and they know of each other.
Okay.
So then they're competing to try to make sure that they don't get outdone by the other one.
I could see that. That's good
competition to me.
And when you're walking down the street with a chick, other chicks, Dominican chicks now, that's not really the Haitian ones, at least as far as I know, will flirt with you in front of your chick.
Wow.
And she won't even care. Like she won't, like, you don't see this shit? Like, you don't. Go ahead.
I don't think I ever had that one, but I don't doubt it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I get mixed signals from them, but like sexually, I enjoyed the company of the Haitian girls a little bit. I mean, not saying like it's a huge difference, just like a little bit more, kind of like the whole Eritrean Ethiopian thing, just like a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, man, I gotta run.
Yeah, all right, bro. I'm about to shut down. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining me, and thank Triple X or GK and Triple X. You have any final thoughts, GK?
Man, let's just discuss this kind of stuff further, man. You always coming up with some good topics.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it.
Peace.
I appreciate you. All right, this is Game Changer 00100. Game over. Peace.